Welcome to the Mrs. R Relevant Daily Draft Podcast, sponsored by the Draft Professors. Joined today by Draft Professor EJ. EJ, it's good to see you. Neither of our teams are still in the playoffs. If you didn't know, EJ's an Eagles fan. I'm a Bills fan. We each had early playoff exits this year, but how are you coping with your off season so far?
Pretty much I've directed my anger at other Eagles fans that want to argue about Jalen Hurts and they want to argue about who's going to be the OC and should they fire Nick Sirianni. So I've just taken to arguing with other Eagles fans as a way of coping right now.
So, what is your opinion on Nick Sirianni? Because I don't know that I have heard what your opinion is.
So like what it is you got to understand what Sirianni is and what Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, the GM and owner, want from a head coach. Howie Roseman is never, ever, ever going to allow a coach to have more say over the roster than he does. That's how he got banished to the closet, though, by Chip Kelly. He's never going to let that happen again. So Nick Sirianni, that's why they're never going to bring in a big name head coach, because this is Howie Roseman's show. He's going to run the show, and he's not giving power to anybody. Nick Sirianni lets Howie Roseman have his hand in the roster, because usually head coaches have final say over the final 53. Nick Sirianni does not. Howie Roseman does, and so as far as who's active and everything for on game day, that's Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman is allowed to control this team, and Nick Sirianni doesn't say a lot about that. And Howie likes that. He doesn't want to have that conflict. The other part of what Nick Sirianni does is one thing he promised when he was hired, he promised player development, and he's delivered in that aspect. Young players have developed under him and his coaching staff. What he has not given is he's proven he's not a play caller. He's not an offensive play caller, and he never came into Philadelphia as any type of defensive guy. So Vic Fangio has total autonomy over the defense, and from what they're saying now is the next OC that comes in is going to have total autonomy of the offense. So the question for the past about 2 or 3 years is, what does Nick Sirianni actually do? So, I mean, I think, honestly, I don't mind keeping him here because they're winning. Since he's been with the team, with the team about 5 years? 5 years straight, they've made the playoffs. 4 years straight, double-digit wins. He's been to one Super Bowl, and he's won another Super Bowl. Whatever he's doing or not doing in the building is okay with me. So, I mean, because we wouldn't have this level of success if he was a part of the problem. So I'm not saying that he's some great coach or some great offensive mind or something like that, but what he does works, and I don't want to rock the boat because what they have going on is working now. It didn't work out this year for many reasons, for a lot of reasons, but overall, I mean, this was looked at as a bad season. We still won 11 games. So, what they're doing is working. So I'm not in the camp of fire Nick Sirianni, not quite yet. I think the guys still play for him. He doesn't lose the locker room. I'm willing to keep Nick Sirianni around and just get him a good offensive coordinator.
Okay, so slightly different question. This could get hot takey, which I know isn't always your style, but how many more seasons could Nick Sirianni make the playoffs, but not go to a Super Bowl and still keep his job?
I think he's got part of it is how it looks, how the season goes, how the team looks. But I think overall, I think if he makes the playoffs and loses in the first round again next season, I think then he's on the hot seat. He could either go that year or he can go the year after that.
Okay. So, and obviously I'm in a situation where Buffalo made the playoffs 8 straight seasons. Maybe it was 7. So I think McDermott made the playoffs in like 8 of his 9 seasons as coach in the last 7.
Yeah.
And I was shocked when I heard the news, but I can't say that I was surprised.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, because you have to get to the Super Bowl, and the data that actually I was shared, and you and I were talking about this a little bit backstage, was Andy Reid, I think, was the coach that coached the longest before his first Super Bowl. Meaning that the threshold is if you don't get to a Super Bowl your first 6 years as a head coach, 0 coaches have coached 7 years before their first Super Bowl. It's either 6 or less. Like if you look at like Jimmy Johnson when he was at Dallas, I think it took him 3 years to make it to his first Super Bowl. Right. So that's what we're talking about. It's like when a coach comes in, like you look at like Mike McDonald in Seattle, or what Sean McVay has done with the Rams. McVay went to a Super Bowl. I don't know when McVay started coaching, but it didn't take McVay long to take the Rams to their first Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or his first Super Bowl, I should say.
Well, his first Super Bowl. Yeah. I mean, and part of it is like, is where these franchises are coming from. They gave like when Andy Reid took over, he took over in 1999. When he took over, he was taking over a 3-13 franchise that had, no hope for being good in years to come. And he like almost instantly turned them into a playoff contender. And then the reason why I would say Andy Reid stuck around before making his first Super Bowl, because before then, it was the NFC Championship game, Yeah, exactly. So that's why they figured they had the coach. They just needed somebody to get over the hump and all of that. So, but usually if it's not going to happen within like about 3 years, what we're seeing now, if it's not going to happen in 3 years, teams are moving on from their coaches.
Yeah. So we're here to talk about how the Rams built their roster. And we've already done podcasts on the Patriots, the Broncos, and the Seahawks. So this is the 4th that we're doing. And to me, the Rams, this is my favorite story of roster building. Because to me, how the Rams did it is how every team, like if you're not making the Super Bowl, you need to look at what Les Snead did the year after the Rams went to the Super Bowl, because he pretty much blew it up. And now they're back 1 win away from going back.
Yep.
When you look at the Rams, how do you see it? Like, because I mean, you're an Eagles fan, so you're going to see the Rams more than I do being a Bills fan, right? Buffalo will play the Rams maybe once every 4 years. I'm assuming the Eagles and the Rams play a lot more than that.
I think we played them last year. We played them again this year. But the thing with the Rams is like you got to give their scouting department a ton of credit, because most of this roster that's in the playoffs now is built from the 22, 23, and 24 draft. So that's and that is not first round picks. They went 7 straight years without a first round pick. They first round pick since then was Jared Verse, and they knocked that out the park. But most of their roster is comprised of 3rd round picks and lower, and these guys are starting. And so like they really, and because mostly you like give Les Snead a ton of credit, but mostly GMs, they're dealing with the 1st and 2nd round picks. The guys that are around 3 and below, that's their scouting staff, their area scouts, and their all of those. Those are the guys that did some real good work, because in the rounds 3 through 5, they really built their team. So most of the and like this, and we all know about the Matthew Stafford trade. That was the big trade. I think that's what really solidified them. They had a quarterback that can run what Sean McVay wanted to run. And then they just built around that. So like this team, as much as they used to be the team like F those draft picks and go out in the free agent market and in the trade market. This is a team that's built through the draft.
Yeah, and here's some data on that. So the Rams have 27 players on their roster that they've drafted. Right? So that's bottom third of the league. Right? So the teams that have fewer people on their roster that they've drafted. Okay, the list isn't long. So the Rams have 27 players on their roster they've drafted. That's tied with Atlanta and Denver. Below them, the Bears have 26, the Browns have 25, the Cowboys have 24, the Raiders have 24, the Panthers have 23, the Patriots have 23, Commanders 22, Dolphins 21, Titans 21, Vikings 20, Jets 20. But the emphasis here, so I use Pro Football Reference as my source. And one of the things to kind of volley back to you, because you had mentioned about the scouting department, I can't look at Pro Football Reference and identify which team signed the undrafted free agent, right? I can tell that they're an undrafted free agent, but I can't tell that the Rams were the team that signed them. Right, I can tell that they're on the Rams roster and they were a UDFA, right? Which is all the scouting you're saying. Because the year after they won the Super Bowl, I think I remembered counting at one point like 15 UDFAs made the roster the year after the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
kind of thing. So the Rams in 2022 had 36 players that they drafted. So in 2022, they had 36 players they drafted on the roster. This year, it's down to 27. So 3 years later, it's down to 27. I keep track of those numbers every year. So every year I go through and I count everybody's roster. It is painful research. Like Pro Football Reference, if you give me some AI on your site, I'll even pay for some of the AI so that I don't have to do all the counting. So 6 players are in common from 2022 to the 2025 roster. So only 6 players have been with the Rams where they drafted them, and they're still on the roster 3 years later. The reason that I point out that 6 is a really good predictor of which teams are going to make the playoffs. You want that number to be double digits. So to give you an idea, let me resort my spreadsheet here. Okay, so the Bills led the league. They had 18 players that were on the team in 2022 that were also on the team in 2025. But in fairness, Gabe Davis, Tre'Davious White, and they brought back one other draft pick this year. Oh, Jordan Poyer wasn't drafted by Buffalo. So like Tre'Davious White bumps that number up. So Buffalo kind of inflated it with some mid-season waiver acquisitions.
Yeah.
The Chiefs have 17. The Ravens have 16. And I would generally say those are 3 of the teams that tend to draft the best. The Colts 13, Buccaneers 13, Packers 12, Giants 12, Eagles 11. So, for example, the Eagles have 34 players on their roster that they drafted. And 11 of those players were on the team in 2022. And this is, again, the point of emphasis. Even if you are the best drafting teams in the league, only 20% of your roster is going to be there 4 years later. You have to turn
it's still
over.
A crapshoot because you still got roster turnover. Because you still got trades, still got free agency, all of that.
Yep. Which goes to show that generally speaking, to have success, you need to hit on your young players. Like you can find starters in free agency, etc., but to sustain the success 1 year after another, you're going to need to draft well.
Yep.
So more data for the Rams. 5 of their starters were acquired by the draft on offense. 5 were acquired by free agency, and 1 was acquired by trade. That was Matthew Stafford. 6 of their starters on defense were acquired by trade. 5 were acquired by free agency. And again, the free agents could be UDFA, because if the Rams didn't draft them, I counted that as a free agent. Whether they signed him out of school or signed him Devontae Adams from another team.
Okay.
They're all lumped in because I can't tell.
Yeah. Okay. Like if they clear waivers or they was on a practice squad or something like that.
Yep. So one of the things that made this year unusual, every single team that's still playing in the Final Four has at least 10 starters that they got by free agency.
Wow.
Yes. Last year, that number was 5. Right? Because I think the Final Four teams last year was Kansas City, Philly, Buffalo, and the Commanders, right?
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yep.
It was Philly and the Philly and the Commanders, KC and Buffalo. So the Commanders last year had double-digit starters from free agency, but that was the first year with that head coach. Right? So they were turning over a roster that was pretty barren.
Yeah, and then that same thing with the Patriots. They were turning over a roster like they weren't expected to be at this point at this time. And I think Seahawks they turned over their roster a little bit. And who else? But I mean, the Rams are a little bit more consistent. And who else? Oh, Seahawks. The Broncos. Yeah, the Broncos. They are. I mean, they're relatively newer team, but yeah, I think this situation was a little bit different because you got a lot of newer teams and newer coaching staff, and they just they put everything together at the right time.
And that was actually going to be the same point I was about to make. So if you think of the Seahawks, the Broncos, and the Patriots, their coaches are what I think Sean Payton's in his 3rd year at Denver.
Yep. Second or third. Yep.
But this is the first year for Vrabel. This is the 2nd year. Wait, no, this is McDonald's 2nd year in Seattle, but his 1st year in the playoffs, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Was McDonald? I was trying to think. Was McDonald hired last coaching cycle or 2 cycles ago?
Because let's see.
He was hired when the Ravens went to the Super Bowl, didn't? No, the Ravens haven't gone to the Super Bowl that recently.
No, and because it was Pete Carroll's first year at with the Raiders, so
okay. Yeah, but I think Pete Carroll ended up taking a year off.
So this has got to be his 2nd year.
Yep. So the fact that the Rams were able to go to a Super Bowl, I believe in 2021, they had to completely jettison the roster, right? So Von Miller I shouldn't say let go. They just didn't extend him. Leonard Floyd, Jalen Ramsey, Sammy Watkins. I mean, that Super Bowl team was loaded.
Yeah.
They had to replace all of those stars, and they had Aaron Donald on that Super Bowl team.
Yep.
Which is like an all-world player.
And they had to pay him.
And they've been able to replace him and get back to the same level.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing what you can do with some solid drafts because they're from 2022 to 2024, they were getting 3 or more starters. So you're feeling, and these are high end starters too. These are good players that they're getting. So that's how they can turn the team around really fast.
And I just did a quick search. The Rams traded out of round 1 last year. So the Rams even got to where they are, to your point, without a round 1 pick because they traded it to Atlanta for James Pierce.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
So, just in general, the Rams drafting, to your point, their scouting department is incredibly thorough.
Yeah, because if you look at it, one of their starting cornerbacks, Kobe Durant, he was a 4th-round pick. Kyron Williams, a 4th-round pick. Quentin Lake, a 4th-round pick. Like these guys, we know Puka went in the 5th round. Who else? Blake Corum. He went in. They got him. What I think he went in the 3rd round, and it's like that. These are day 3 guys that they are turning into starters. Like they're really like Brian Young, Kobe Turner, 3rd round. These guys are knocking it out the park.
So I'm looking. I'm going to give you their 2025 schools. These were the schools that the Rams drafted players from in 2025: Oregon, Michigan, Auburn, Ohio State, Ole Miss, and then their late round pick was from Pittsburgh. Those are SEC or Big Ten.
Yep.
I'm about to go look to see. Yeah, I'm about to go look at their 2024 drafts to see is there a school trend? Are they sticking with big conferences?
No. Well, Florida State, they went ACC, Big Ten, ACC. Oh, this was more of an ACC draft that they had.
Yep. You're looking at the 24 draft.
Yep. Yeah, that was an ACC draft. One Big Ten player.
I'm going through. I'm checking their 2023 draft.
Yeah. And then they got in 2024 they got Jordan Whittington in the what is this? Like 6th round, I want to say. Pick 213. And like he's like their 3rd receiver. He's a utility guy. He does what they need him to do, but like he plays for them. And like just to get a guy like that just to contribute is just, I mean, their scouting is they're really doing a thing.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the 2023 draft. So the 2023 draft, they went all over the place. But granted, when they went outside the conference, I don't know if Nick Hampton from Appalachian State is still on their roster.
He is. He's still there.
Okay. So
not a starter.
They had another draft pick from Wingate, but he was a punter. So
yeah. No, punters don't count.
So I think if you're a team and you're looking for how to build a team, right? There's a lot of draft philosophies out there, but if you're not at least doing 70% of what the Rams are doing, I think you need to look at self-correcting. Like one of the things I thought that the Rams did well, they rebuilt their defensive line. And then last year, they actually took Josiah Stewart on day 2. And like whenever I would do a Rams mock draft, I'm like, wow, they have a really good defensive line. Why would they ever add an edge? But of course, that's what you do. If you have a good defensive line that you've drafted, you should definitely draft more because you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Like and plus, like you double down on the strength. And because and plus you can't always guarantee that your roster is going to be healthy. You're going to lose some guys, so it's best to have depth on the lines.
Yeah. What other characteristics of the Rams roster do you think, like if you were to compare, let's say, the Philadelphia roster to the Rams roster, is there a position that you think the Rams are clearly better than the Eagles?
Well, I would still say the Eagles have a blind spot when it comes to drafting wide receivers. Devontae Smith is the best wide receiver they have drafted since Jeremy Maclin, which is, I believe, 2009 or 2010. You can look that up. Or anybody.
Jeremy Maclin. I think he ended up on Buffalo's roster for a short amount of time.
He did. But yeah, like I think they still have a blind spot at wide receiver because they have drafted other wide receivers and in the later rounds, but they do not pan out. So I would say that the Rams they probably draft that wide receiver better than the Eagles do.
Right. So between Cup and then the free agent acquisition of Devontae Adams, was it? And then they drafted
Puka in the 5th round.
Yeah.
And then they drafted Tutu Atwell in 2020. I mean, in 2021. But Tutu is he is what he is. He's a small player, but he still was able to contribute for them for a little bit, and he's still on the roster.
Yep. Let's see. So when you look at offensive line, right, and one of the reasons I'm comparing the Rams to Philadelphia, there's two reasons. One is EJ's an Eagles fan, but the second is I think Howie Roseman is probably one of the top 4 or 5 drafters in the league. Yeah. At least by reputation. The Eagles tend to restock specifically premium positions. I think Howie, when it comes to defensive line, I think Howie does pretty well, as well as just in defense in general. So if we're comparing rosters, if for the most part the Rams and the Eagles, let's say the position groups are nearly equal, I would say the Rams have a significantly better quarterback. I don't mean to shame Jalen Hurts, but 10 times out of 10, I'm taking Stafford.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's not even a question.
So that would also then point out as to how good of a coach McVay is, because he's getting the most out of the players that he has. What is it about a McVay coached team to you that gives the Rams an edge?
Because McVay is always ahead of the curve. When he first came into the league, he was, he's running a whole lot of wide zone, and his whole thing was, he put guys in motion. You couldn't really. He's the one that really started the reduced splits. They call it lining up in the nasty, where you bring your wide receivers closer to the line of scrimmage. It makes it so defensive backs can't press them. So you getting all your receivers a free release and getting them out in open space. You got a quarterback that can point and shoot and get the ball to him. That's how Cooper Kupp had those monster years, because he was good at run after the catch. He was quick. He was shifty. But then the league started to catch up to what McVay was doing. So what he did was he reinvented himself. So now it's like everything he makes everything look like the same formation, but they're running different routes and running different plays out of the same formation. He's added the more of gap schemes to his running schemes. So he got quicker, shiftier running backs that can navigate through traffic. But he's constantly ahead of the game. He's a progressive offensive mind. So that's what makes him so great, because he can consistently reinvent himself and reinvent his offense based on what defenses are doing to him. So he's always going to be like a year ahead of defenses, and that's pretty much why he's been able to stay on top and why he's been able to stay employed, even though they've gone to the Super Bowl like a couple years ago. But this is why he's one of the best coaches in the NFL.
Yeah, and if you're a coach and you have a tree named after you, like there's a McVay tree, but there's not a Sirianni tree, right?
Yeah, no.
Right. So if you have a coaching tree named after you, you're doing a few different things correctly.
Yeah.
Yep. So EJ, what is your Super Bowl prediction? Like how do you see Denver and New England stacking up? How do you see the Rams and Seattle stacking
up? I think like Denver, I don't think they're going to be able to get past the Jarrett Stidham thing. It's a good story. They're going to put up a good fight. They're going to be like, they're not just going to lay down and get blown out. I think they're going to put up a fight, but I think they're going to come up short. I think we're just going to get a Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl, and that's going to be, I think the big storyline is going to be Drake May, and then the Seahawks are just going to come in and beat his head into the ground. So because it looks like Seattle is that team that's got lightning in a bottle. So I think they're gonna win it all. But I my pick for the Super Bowl, I got Seattle and New England.
Okay, so I am completely the opposite. So first of all, whoever wins the Rams Seattle game to me that's my pick to win the Super Bowl.
Win the Super Bowl, okay.
But and I'm gonna just quote Joe Marino. I am not ready for Drake May or Sam Darnold to win a Super Bowl before Josh Allen.
Oh God,
I am not ready. Right. So I've been a huge Matthew Stafford fan for a long time. So I lived in Michigan for a decade, and Matthew Stafford was the quarterback of the Lions when I moved to Michigan. That would have been like 2016 or 2015, whatever year that was. And all my Lions friends were complaining about Stafford. And like that was the Buffalo Bills drought, right? I'm like, I will trade you 3 Buffalo Bills first round picks for Matthew Stafford, and our drought ends.
Yep.
You can do whatever you want with those 3 first round picks. I said, your problem is not Matthew Stafford.
No.
That's all about, whatever the GM was doing when Stafford was there. I mean, Stafford was the quarterback on the Lions 0-17 team, wasn't he?
Yep, he was. Yeah. Like the minute I was sold on Matthew Stafford it was a random game I was watching. It was the Lions against, I think, the Browns. And the Lions were driving. They were in the red zone. Matthew Stafford gets sacked, and he breaks his collarbone. And he goes to the sideline. He's in pain. They look at him. He goes back into the game, throws a touchdown with a broken collarbone, and then he's running back to the with that. I mean, the collarbone was broken off his throwing arm, so he still threw a touchdown pass with a broken collarbone, and he's running back to the sideline. He's going back into get the X-rays and all that, and guys are trying to high five him. He's like, "No, don't high five me on my right side. High five me on my left side." So it's like I'm like, "Oh, this guy broke his collarbone, got up and threw a touchdown pass." I'm like, "Okay, I'm sold on him." So now I've been watching him ever since, and like the arm talent and the way he's grown as a quarterback too. He's like the way he's developed into a pocket passer, how fast he processes defense and all that. Like it's gotten to the Brady level, to where Brady can drop back and see a defense and instantly knows where to go with the football. That's where Matthew Stafford is now, because I mean, pretty much like in his old age, he's seen all of these defenses before, so nothing really surprises him. But his level of processing, and he still has the arm. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Matthew Stafford.
Oh yeah, and that Cleveland game that you're talking about, I point to that one all the time. So interesting things, like you could, if you YouTube it, just YouTube like Matthew Stafford against the Browns. So he got knocked out of the game. And then there was a penalty against the Browns on the last play of the game. So the Lions got an untimed down. But because Stafford had to be taken out of the game, he wasn't allowed to come back in. But then the Browns called timeout. For whatever reason, they had to get reset. So because the Browns called timeout, the Browns did a Brown thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Come in and throw the touchdown that you described.
Wow.
That game has a lot of good facts in it, because that's the Browns doing Browns things, and Matthew Stafford showing why players like playing with him.
Yeah, like I'm glad he got out of Detroit when he did. I mean, even though I wonder, had he stayed in Detroit and with this new regime, how good would they be? But I'm glad he got out of there and got his Super Bowl ring.
Well, and in fairness, like, if you look at the draft picks, Detroit made the draft picks count, because trading Matthew Stafford allowed them to get Jameson Williams, and it allowed them to get Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
Right. Those are key pieces to what the Lions are doing. So, I mean, the trade worked out better for the Rams because they've won a Super Bowl. The Lions actually haven't. They've gone to the playoffs and they've won a playoff game. But, the Lions are really no different than Buffalo. They're a good roster, good. They're a well-coached team, but
still trying to get over the hump.
Yep, you got to be able to get over the hump.
Mm-hmm.
So, why don't we? If we're done talking about the Rams, do you want to? Oh, go ahead.
I'm saying I wouldn't mind doing a Rams mock draft. I could do that.
Why don't we do that? So let me pull the simulator up and get that ready to go.
All these Rams fans can yell at me.
Yeah, so we will do. We're going to do a couple. Okay. So we're going to do Rams. We're going to do a first round challenge. So let's come up with 5 really good first rounds for the Rams.
Okay.
So what do you think the Rams need?
Back when the Eagles played the Rams, I looked at the film, and they did, they do the pregame show and all of that. And the main thing that they talked about was these Rams cornerbacks can be had, and that's what they did in the game. They attacked the cornerbacks for the Rams, and they had some success. They have. I mean, I did like Emmanuel Forbes coming out, but he's smaller. He's like sub 180. He's got good speed, he's got good ball skills, but he's just not that strong of a player. So like AJ Brown, like even back when he was in Washington, AJ Brown would like abuse him. And you got Kobe Durant. He's a nice little player, but that's a position where they could use a little bit more talent. So I'm going to be looking at cornerback, and
I think their offensive tackle, one of their tackles, is in his late 30s.
Alaric Jackson. That's probably Alaric Jackson. The other guy, the right tackle from Georgia, McClendon. He's relatively young, but Alaric Jackson, I think he had a blood clot scare. Like I think was it last year or this year, one of those years. But they probably could use some work on the offensive line too. But first and foremost, I would probably go for Mansour Delane. He would fit right in as
there's a reason he's at the top of their board. He's been picked a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So then they have a second first round pick at pick 29. That's why I wanted to do this. We get to talk about 10 guys in round 1.
Yeah. All right. What does that linebacker board look like?
So CJ Allen went 2 picks earlier. So do you have Trotter graded high enough to take round 1?
I don't have him round 1, but it's like he would be so perfect here.
Where is he on your overall board?
I got him as a like mid to late second round pick.
Got it.
So I think he's gonna go too, because like he's really good, but I wouldn't be surprised if he went in the first round. What does wide receiver look like?
Surratt, Bell,
Cooper,
Bernard. Where do you have Bernard graded?
I haven't graded him yet, but the comp I got for him is Chris Godwin. I think he's that type of player. I think ultimately he's going to be like a bigger slot type of player. Because I like the route running. He's not the fastest guy. So he's not going to really beat you over the top, but you like the toughness, you like the hands, you like the route running, you like the run after the catch ability. He's a guy that can just sit there and move the chains for you, like a very reliable slot receiver. All right.
Bernard gets used out of the backfield at Alabama, right?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. That was where I was thinking, like, McVay would be a coach that could unlock some of that. So that was why my mind went there.
Yeah. What does defensive tackle look like?
McDonald is there.
That's the pick right there.
2 picks earlier.
Yep. That's the pick right there. I'll go Cade McDonald because they signed Poona Ford. Yep. They signed Poona Ford. I don't know how long he signed for, and they got Kobe Turner. He's more of a pass rusher. But you got a legit run stuffer right there in the middle of that defense, and he's just going to eat up blockers and allow everybody else to eat. That's a perfect pick.
Okay. So with a first round challenge, it does the second first round, but Delane is off the board before the Rams pick. So if Delane's not there, so the player that dropped, is it Lemon? I don't know that Lemon was there before.
Yeah,
I'm looking to see some of the other players. So, okay, so Carnell Tate went first overall. Okay. So what do you think they would do if Delane's off the board? Do you have any other corners that are graded high enough that you could take at 13? Or do you think this is an offensive lineman?
This might be an offensive lineman. You got Caden Proctor there. You got Lomu there. You got
And then Freeling is available. I don't know that I would suggest him at 13th overall.
Yeah, he's a little bit raw. What does what does tight end look like? Because I think I saw. Yeah, exactly. That would be fun because they just drafted Terrence Ferguson.
Yep.
But I mean, you go 12 personnel, you got Kenyon Sadiq and Terrence Ferguson both on the field to go along with Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. That's a dangerous wide receiver.
So do you think it's Sadiq over Lomu? And you have Sadiq graded high enough to take it 13th overall?
Yeah, I would because the thing is, once you get in the first round, it's all about fit now. Because I got a first round grade on him. Where in the first round grade, I would say is more about what teams like him and what teams think he's gonna fit. So if he fits, I think he does fit at the Rams. So I would take him at 13. Okay. But yeah, you might as well take him. Yeah.
No. And I mean, yeah, I'll let you finish talking. I'm good.
Oh no, yeah, I was gonna say, but like offensive tackle definitely is an option too.
Okay. So with the second pick, so make sure that McDonald got sniped before the Rams pick here. What corners do you have graded where you would be comfortable taking them at 29?
29. I would take Avion Terrell at 29. He didn't have the best year, but you see what the traits are. You can see how he fits into a defense. I would take Avion Terrell at 29.
Okay. So the simulator gives us the next first round. Delane and Sadiq are off the board. Downs is off the board. Any other corners that you would consider at 13? Like, do you think McCoy? Or
yeah, I was looking at
or Wood. Woods dropped.
Yeah, Peter Woods dropped. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a Keldrick Falk dropped. Yeah, pretty much you got your pick or whatever.
Between Lomu, McCoy, and Woods.
Yeah, that is really tough. All right, so I guess we're pretty sure Jamal McCoy is going to be ready to go day one. He should be over his injury by now. Yeah, take Jamal McCoy. That gives him the cornerback. I mean, it's a gamble, but you got to bet on the upside.
Okay, so then at pick 29, McDonald and Terrell are off the board. They've already taken a corner. Look who dropped this time.
CJ Allen. Then that's the pick right there.
Yep. Okay. So this one, Delane, Sadiq, McCoy, all off the board before the Rams pick, but both offensive tackles are there.
Yeah, Fano. I'd take Fano.
Do they need a right tackle or a left?
I think Spencer Fano, Warren McClendon is their current right tackle. I think Spencer Fano is a little bit better player. And I think Fano has the feet to play left tackle. So yeah, I would just take Fano. I think he's just a better player.
Okay. So Fano in round 1 at the top of the round. At pick 29, McDonald, Terrell, Allen, are off the board.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a corner that you like at pick 29 here?
Colton Hood, Keith Abney. Who else is there? Chris Johnson.
Do you like Chris Johnson in round 1?
No, I don't
Okay.
have a lot of first round grades on corners. I gotta do some more digging on them, but a lot of these guys are not, in my opinion, not first round guys, more of second round guys.
Do you like Thieneman here?
See if he's a so well, I don't think he's a fit for the Rams because they just drafted Cam Kitchens and they got Quentin Lake back there. They got I think they got another safety there too, but they just drafted a safety.
Do you like Lee Hunter at the back of round 1?
Oh yeah, I would do that. I definitely would do that. Yes, because he gives you a little bit of pass rush upside. That hasn't untapped potential.
So that was Spencer Fano, Lee Hunter in round 1.
Oh man.
Okay, so we are now cooking with gas. So Delane, Sadiq, McCoy, and Fano are off the bound. Maui Noah dropped.
Yeah, that's the pick right there. You got to go Maui Noah.
Right, and that's Maui Noah over Peter Woods.
Yep.
Okay, so Maui Noah at the top of round 1, and now we're at the back of round 2. Jeremiah Love dropped this.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Honestly, how can you pass on him? I mean, even though you got Kyron Williams and you got what's it called, but you can't pass on you can't pass on him.
So, well, and that's why sometimes doing some of those fanatic challenges, you can say, would that really happen? Like if those first 4 players are off the board, does that mean that Jeremiah Love dropped? So, that can be fun. Okay, so now let's just do a normal 7-round Rams mock. Because now I'm curious, because now I'm going to get to listen to like who you have graded where. So, okay, so we've got 7 rounds Rams. Okay, so doing a Rams 7-round mock. I don't know how many picks they have, but this could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Delane is at the top of the board.
Yeah.
The first round was Mendoza, Bain, Maui Noah, Reese, Fano, Tyson, Styles, Boston, Downs, Woods, Tate, Bailey. Any surprises there?
Not really. It looks pretty realistic. So yeah, I'm probably just still gonna go Mansour Delane right there for the at 13.
So Delane, and then the next picks were Ione, Falk, Lemon, Lomu, Love, Sadiq, McCoy, Simpson, Pregnon, Proctor, Hood, Howell, Parker, Concepcion, Banks.
Okay. All right. So at 29, CJ Allen is there. What does defensive tackle look like? Caden McDonald right there. I'm going Caden McDonald.
So you like Caden McDonald that much because I see that you continually.
Oh yeah.
How high is McDonald on your board?
I got a first round grade on him. I got him right up there with Peter Woods. I think you're not going to get the pass rush out of him, but he's a plug and play run stuff and defensive tackle. He's more of a disruptor than a pass rusher, but every defense need that. And I like the fact that he's just plug and play and he's got a ton of upside.
I'm checking to see where all the linebackers went.
Okay.
So Hill went round 1. Allen went early round 2. Trotter went mid round 2. We're at pick 61, which is the back of round 2.
All right.
Any quarterbacks that you like here?
second round. See, I got all of these guys as like third rounders. And well, this is the back round. This is at 61. I'm guessing. I'm looking between. I'm putting my mind in Sean McVay's mind, and like what type of quarterback does he like? He likes his guys that's gonna, he doesn't like guys that hold the ball. So that X's out Taylor Green and Drew Aller. I'm looking at either Cole Payton or Carson Beck. Now,
do you think Beck has? I know that Sean McVay likes a horizontal passing game, which is what Beck does.
Yep.
I don't know that Beck has the arm strength to be more than a backup.
Yeah, I mean, his arm is decent. It's nothing, nothing that's going to wow. Like you watch him throw and you watch Matthew Stafford throw, you'll see the clear difference. I think he can make enough of enough of the throws. But it's nothing that I would say his arm strength is average by NFL standards. But yeah, like everything else, I would say he's that type of quarterback that Sean McVay could win with. I think Cole Payton has a little bit more upside due to his mobility, and I wonder if Sean McVay would do that. So
I'm looking to see if Monroe Freeling went. I think he's still available.
Yeah, he's still available. Wait, what does the offense? Oh, those are all the offensive tackles right there. Okay.
Freeling must have gone. I didn't see him go, but he must have.
Yeah, if he's not on there, yeah. There he is.
Okay.
All right.
So we've done Delane McDonald.
And what does linebacker look like?
Do you have Rodriguez graded high enough to go in round 2?
Nope. Yeah, I don't have any of those linebackers rated high enough. All right. So I'm gonna go quarterback, and I'm gonna go crazy. I'm just gonna take Cole Payton.
Okay. So we go Delane McDonald, Cole Payton, and we're in round 3. What are your thoughts on where you would go here?
All right. I might double dip at cornerback. What does cornerback look like?
So Keontae Scott's here.
Exactly. Yeah. Igbenogsen's there. Yeah, give me Keontae Scott in the 3rd round. Because usually they play Quentin Lake in the slot. Like Keontae Scott can take over there and put Quentin Lake in the back, or vice versa. Either way, they need help in that backfield.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 picks, including this one left.
Ooh, and I like Trey.
Oh, so you saw Trey Zoom there?
Yeah, I like him, but I'm gonna look at show me tackle because that's something that does need to be addressed. Markel Bell, Demetrius Crown over. All right, and what does interior offensive lineman look like? Reed Adams, DJ Campbell.
How high do you have Davis from Illinois graded?
Yeah, right around here.
So Owen really liked him, but Jerry was not liking him as much as Owen did. So Owen was like round 3, 4 on Davis.
Mm-hmm.
And we're technically, what round are we in? I think we're in round 5 or 6 here. So I'm scrolling to see what. Yeah, we're in round 5. So apparently,
right around 5. Yeah. So I wouldn't have. It's round 5. I have no problem taking JC Davis there.
Okay, so we've addressed offensive lines. We've done interior defensive line, corner, double dip, quarterback. We probably should talk about some day 3 wide receivers.
Yeah. and that should be easy. I mean, you got a Tutu Atwell replacement in Aaron Anderson. You got a straight down the field type of wide receiver in J. Michael Sturdivant. You got Kevin Coleman, Omega Blake, Caden Lee. Who else is down there? Vinny Anthony, Reggie Virgil from Texas Tech.
So, trying to think of what Sean McVay would like, because so you were immediately thinking Tutu Atwell, and then you said like Aaron Anderson, who would be a slot wide receiver that could replace Tutu Atwell.
Yeah. So like you look at the receivers that they've gotten, like Puka is run after the catch, short area quickness. Same with Devontae Adams. He's a route runner. He's a guys that are going to be in the right place at the right time for Sam Bradford. Looking at this wide receiver list, guys like that are, I would say, Harrison Wallace, and Aaron Anderson, and you know what? I'll go Aaron Anderson. Give them a speed element that they don't have on that offense, because he can play strictly out of the slot. They can get him some free releases. He can just space the safeties out downfield, or he's a big catch and run threat.
Okay, and we haven't done linebacker yet, so we're at pick 203, which is round 6. So we're looking at a round 6 linebacker board.
All right. So
Gentry,
Wade Wood has declared.
Say again?
Did Wade Wood has declared from Clemson?
Something. So it's very possible I have players in that have returned to school. So Anthony Russo and I are going to go work on that a little bit later on tonight.
All right. Yeah, because I thought he went back. I'm not sure. But yeah, as long as we're in the 6th round, we're going, Kendall Daniels right there. And he was a guy we did on that nickel episode. So he has some versatility. He can play out in the slot, he can play in a nickel, or he can play like a weak side linebacker. He's about 6'5", 240.
Okay, so we have 3 picks left. We haven't done an edge. We haven't done running back.
Yeah, I think they got they just drafted Jarquez Hunter out of Auburn last year, so that running back room is pretty full. But
do you see any what some people call it mock abuse, where these guys just shouldn't be there in round 6 or 7?
Yeah, no. Like as far as his running back board, no. I think Damon Claiborne has a chance to go a little bit further, but with running backs, they tend to fall. I guess we could look at see it right now. You're just looking for the best talent.
Yes.
Let's see, what does edge look like? Patrick Payton, Anthony, Logan Fano, Isaiah Smith. Okay. And what do we get an offensive tackle?
What's your grade on Jack Pyburn? We drafted J.C. Davis.
Oh yeah. Oh well, but he was. I'm thinking of him as a guard mainly. I'm thinking of him as an interior. As far as a tackle, I'm looking at either Tristan Lee or Diego Pounds from Ole Miss. Tristan Lee is former 5-star athlete, and Diego Pounds, he played left tackle for Ole Miss this year. He's got some good movement ability. Give me Diego Pounds.
Here we go. You see, we're fixing like all their position rooms. Because we just gave them 2 offensive linemen, where we were talking about their offensive line earlier in the podcast.
Yep.
We haven't done edge.
And
I realize none of these guys are screaming to you here in round 7.
Yeah. what does quarterback? Because I'll always take a flyer on a quarterback late in round 7.
We already took Cole Payton. Or you meant corner.
Right. Oh, yeah. JQ Hardaway, Kenneth Miller. You can go down. All right, so yeah, Tyreek Chappell's a slot cornerback.
And we've done Keontae Scott, so that would be Duke
already. Yeah, that would be redundant. What about safety? Have we done safety yet?
We haven't taken a safety. Lewis Moore, Miles Scott,
Isaiah Wachovia, Devin Neal, Deshaun Singleton. Sheesh. All right, give me Jalen Cataline.
At worst case, I mean, exciting. Where was he? Oh, there he was.
He was up top. Yeah, I mean, he's had many struggles staying healthy, but he's a solid player if he can ever get over his injury issues.
Well, Caden Lee went back to school. Got to take him out.
Yeah. And is this the last pick we have?
This is the last pick. I went back to wide receivers to see what was there. There's some good kick returners.
Yeah. Oh, I see one. At wide receiver, Caleb Douglas.
Okay. There is a Rams mock, and that's my pick for Super Bowl champion. I'm all behind Matthew Stafford right now. So I love EJ. I love doing that because I love hearing like where you have different players ranked. And if you want to learn more about EJ's rankings, EJ will be emceeing a 3-round mock tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on this very station. EJ, you want to let everybody watching know about all of the other content you make, the draft guide for Rogue Analytics, and everything else that you do?
Yeah. Currently working on a draft guide for Rogue Analytics, pretty much just writing up scouting reports, pretty much on offensive players. So you'll see my grades, and you'll see my thoughts, my scouting reports on all those players. Pretty much you can catch me here every Thursday, 9:00 on the Mrs. R Relevant podcast. We're going to be talking draft all night. And then you can catch me on my own X or Twitter, pretty much doing film breakdown, player evaluations, where I think players fit and how they work. Pretty much you'll get no rage bait, no clickbait, no hot takes. Pretty much all my opinions are film based, so don't argue with me, argue with the film. And as always, I will never, ever say the word generational or elite.
And I want to first thank EJ for coming on the podcast today. Second, like I said, if you go to the Draft Professor Twitter at NFL Draft Fanatic, no, I am Fanatic, you can sign up to draft for your favorite team in our 32-team mock draft, which starts at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So, Brandon, I see you here. Brandon, I don't think you're on Twitter. I think you and I had that dialogue last year. But if you want to draft for the Texans, I'll send you my email here in the chat. Just let me know that you want to draft, and I will make sure that the Texans are reserved for you. Yeah, so we're here every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. We do group mock drafts. You're going to get to see who other people draft, and then you're going to get to hear EJ and Bryce Carter talk about their grades on the players that you draft. So we get to see maybe some push and some pull on, do EJ and Price like your pick? What's their grade on the pick and things like that. So it's a lot of fun every Friday. And just want to, again, say thank you to everybody that's watching and for the 110 people at the Draft Professor. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on a podcast again tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you very much, everybody.